so that you can also have informed decisions on whom you're going to vote for. We are not saying you should dictate whom you should go and vote for, but we're just trying to see how we can analyze issues so that maybe you can learn one or two issues which can give you a platform to make a decision. My name is Kala Nchima on this particular program, and of course in the studio I'm joined by no any other person than Honorable Jonas Shakafuswa, former Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Finance, and of course a former Katua Member of Parliament. And this interview is being done somewhere in Katua. Honorable, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, thank you very much, and good evening viewers.
All right. So as we said, some of your messages which are coming through via WhatsApp, we should be able to be reading them, so just keep sending those messages. You can also share the broadcast so that others out there can also be able to watch the program, because there should be other people out there who are not following this program. So what you do is just go on the Munati TV, Munati Television Zambia page, and of course keep sharing. This broadcast is also live on YouTube. Honorable, we are late by 9 minutes, and I don't want to be more late again. Zambians have been waiting for this program. But to go straight into our discussion, we are just from putting to rest. Others call him a liberator, not only for Zambia, but even for other African countries, South Africa and other countries. So this is the man we just from putting to rest, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. What do we learn from this man, especially you who had the privilege even to be there at the time when he was president of this republic? What do we learn as citizens, as politicians, you as politicians, and of course those that are actively participating in politics?
To start with, I want to thank you for having me on your TV. I want to thank the viewers and the people of Zambia who are in mourning for our late president. Our late president is a symbol of our struggle for independence. Our late president is an embodiment of values and principles which lead us to where we are today. But we can't talk about where we are today before we talk about the values of where the president brought us to be where we are. President Kaunda, and we can't just talk about President Kaunda. President Kaunda had a cadre of liberation people who went in the liberation struggle. It isn't only President Kaunda. We're talking of Hari Mwanga Nkumbula. We're talking about Mainza Chona. We're talking about the Mbikusitas. We're talking of a lot of people who sacrificed for us to be where we are today. And we're talking about a liberation in the background of imperialism. We're talking about a liberation in the background of a lot of temptations, but we're talking about a liberator who stood for the people of Zambia, a liberator who stood for the good of the people of Zambia, and we're talking about a liberator who lived a life for the people of Zambia. We're talking about a liberator who actually ran a rule where you find that him and his people forgot about the wealth which comes about with governance, forgot about the wealth which comes about liberations, forgot about the comfort which talk about liberations. He liberated the country so that the Zambian people can have a voice, the Zambian people can identify themselves, Zambian people can have self-esteem. We're talking about a government which put about policies of lifting up the people of Zambia from the poverty, from the oppression, for them to be self-esteemed. You're talking about a leadership which brought about a leadership code which denied a lot of leaders an opportunity to make money for themselves. A leadership code which confined the leaders to working for the people, to working to liberate the people, to working to confine the wealth of the country to the people of Zambia. Today, when I talk about the sacrifices not only of Dr. Kaunda, Dr. Kaunda headed a government, headed an administration of selfless leaders who stood to lift the lives of the people of Zambia, who stood to show the people of Zambia that they meant something. And for me, when I talk about the sacrifices, when I talk about the leadership which Dr. Kaunda offered to this nation, I think it's unchallenged.
Right.
Today we talk about leadership. When people talk about leadership, you're talking about people who go into leadership to amass wealth, who go into leadership to get what they can get from the people of Zambia for their families, to make their families wealthy. That was not the struggles for Dr. Kaunda and his people. And unfortunately, we talk about Dr. Kaunda today. We talk about the rebellions and the emancipation of Zambia. A lot of people talk of the second liberation, which we had in the 1991 revolution, where we removed Dr. Kaunda. They looked at maybe the autocratic governance of Dr. Kaunda. They looked at the dictatorial, which they termed dictatorial tenders of Dr. Kaunda, and they forgot the struggles of Dr. Kaunda. And to me today, as I stand here, you find a situation where Dr. Kaunda and his comrades were denied, they denied actually benefits from the states.
Right. Let me jump from the Kaunda regime, Kaunda administration, to today's administration. During the whole period which were in the 21 days of national mourning, we had leaders at all levels, and of course especially those in government now, to say we are building on the legacy, we are building on the foundation of our founding father, President Kenneth Kaunda. Because at the end of the day, if I quoted it clearly, you are saying that he fought.
Palan, what are we building on the legacy of Dr. Kaunda?
Well, I mean, you hear every day they are saying poverty
what we've got is that we've found a cadre of selfish leaders, greedy leaders. Today, governance is equated to greediness, selfishness. When you talk about leaders, we're not talking of people who sacrifice for the benefit of the people of Zambia. We're talking about leadership who goes into leadership to amass wealth for their families, amass wealth for their cadres, amass wealth for their regions. That's not what Dr. Kaunda fought for. Dr. Kaunda fought for a one Zambia, one nation. When Dr. Kaunda became president, he noticed that there were tendency of tribalism, and he did stop those tendencies of tribalism. He stopped those tendencies of tribalism to unite the country so that the country can equitably develop at the same time. Today, we're talking of a cadre of leadership which looks at leadership as a way of distributing wealth to their cadres, distributing wealth to their people. But which people are you talking about? Because the people should talk about is the Zambian people. Of people who want to distribute wealth to their strongholds, who want to distribute wealth to their strongholds. That's not what Dr. Kaunda fought for.
But they're disagreeing. Those in government today are saying you are lying.
Ha ha! Lying. When we can all see it. We can all see it. Look at government appointments. Look at government concentration of wealth. It's concentrated in regions of their strongholds, where the people who are not, like today, they'll say they're not supporting the PF, they're not supporting the government, they have actually left them to wallow in poverty. And that's not what Dr. Kaunda fought for. Dr. Kaunda fought for emancipation of the people of Zambia. He fought for the distribution of wealth for the people of Zambia. He fought for equal representation of the people of Zambia. He fought for equal representation of the people of Zambia. That's why his core governance issue was on equal distribution of wealth for all the people of Zambia. And if you look at his appointments were deliberately done so that the people of Zambia can be able to associate with governance system. Today, when you talk about what has happened today, we've had a system. We're looking at from the UNIP regime, MMD regime. We're talking about the PF regime. We found a divergency from where the values, the principles which Dr. Kaunda taught us. What we're looking at today is now a colonization by regions of the people of Zambia, where certain regions want to come and colonize the people of Zambia, and the rest who are not like supporters, who are not in the good books of government, are looked upon as enemies of the people of Zambia. But Dr. Kaunda never looked at anyone in this country as the enemies of the people of Zambia. He looked at anyone in this country as someone of the people of Zambia. I'll give an example. He brought about a one-party participatory democracy, but inherent within a one-party democratic participatory democracy were actually democratic principles which allowed every Zambian to aspire, every Zambian to actually be able to be heard. We're having now systems where certain tribes are being labeled. But then, what we did, we fought the one...
Who's causing all this?
We fought the one-party state democracy. We came together as Zambian citizens and we fought the one-party democracy because of its autocratic tendencies, because of its dictatorial tendencies, and we thought a multi-party system of democracy will emancipate the people of Zambia, where the people of Zambia will be able to freely express themselves, will be able to freely associate, will be able to freely conduct themselves. Now, we're looking back where we ask ourselves from the Kaunda days, the Kaunda regime to date, are we able to relate and say we become a better off society, or maybe we just made a mistake? Because with one party, away from the multi-party, one-party participatory democracy, we brought in a multi-party system, which is enshrined in our constitution. The people of Zambia says this is the way to go. We're looking at a system where now we've got tendencies where we're going back to a one-party participatory democracy without changing our constitution. We've got a system in place which is now pushing people to just favor one political party, despite its inadequacies, despite its shortcomings. We've got a system where you show the inadequacies of the dictatorial tendencies where they want to take us, and constitutionally, to a one-party state. And when you show the dictatorial tendencies...
Where are you basing that argument?
I'll give you an example. You were fired because when HH went to Kanyama and he was doing... No, you asking me?
No. I mean, I'm not the one on the center of discussion, and that's...
Well, but I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. But wait, let me also move in that direction.
That's...
Wait, I'll move in that direction. Wait, I'll move in that direction. You show the script.
But this is where I'm guiding
you. Show the script.
I'm guiding you that.
Okay.
It's.
Okay, let's move on.
What transpired?
Okay, let's move on.
Probably that's what you are hearing. Maybe what's on the table is totally different.
Let's move on. The people of Zambia needs...
I agree with you that Kaunda, also another example probably would want to say is Kaunda united this country. One way was when he created the United Church of Zambia. That was to unite the Zambian people so that everybody belonged to one body of Christ. Probably that was
Whoa, that can be that. But in Zambia, we should have the freedom of religion association. We should have the freedom to actually congregate and associate where we feel like. Yes, to me, we buried a hero. But I wouldn't say he was a perfect person. He also had dictatorial tendencies,
Correct.
which maybe it was necessitated by the kind of politics which he had. But now, let's talk about our multi-party democracy. We removed the one-party participative democracy. We brought in MMD, which inherently came up with these also shortcomings, which at the end of the day, the Zambian people decided and removed MMD.
You speak like you are saying we're even better off under Kaunda than we are today.
No,
Is that what you're
we're
trying to
not
say?
better off under Kaunda, but for some of us, we're better off under Kaunda because...
For some of you, what about for some of us?
I'll come to that. For some of us who grew up in the Kaunda era, were able to benefit from the Kaunda era because of the programs which the government put in place. The government put in place programs which were people-centered. In Kaunda era, we had the humanism principles, which were the cardinal stone of the government policies. So they brought human values into place. They sacrificed the leaders where we were able to go to school. They were able to take us to school. They were able to take us to universities. They were able to give us facilities which made human life easier. Most of the people who are in government today are from the Kaunda background. They went to university, from all of us from poor backgrounds, but we were able to be sponsored by government to go into schools and to be what we are today. The government was able to provide for us a thing which is not possible today, despite of the wealth which the country has. Today the wealth of the country is defined by who owns the wealth. We've got a leadership cadre which has become very wealthy. A leadership cadre which has become very wealthy, bragging about with money at the expense of poor Zambians. That's not the principles upon which UNIP brought our country. That's not the principles upon which Dr. Kaunda raised this country to be. We've got a cadre of leadership who yesterday were very, very, very poor. They've become very, very, very rich. Not from their father's money, but from the wealth of the country. Now, if you've got leadership which is becoming very, very wealthy from the resources of the country, which means they are removing from the resources of the country monies which is go to people's welfare. Today, we are in the midst of an pandemic. We've got coronavirus pandemic, where the leadership are not even able to provide vaccines for the people. The leadership is not even able to provide medication for the people. The leadership is not even able to provide protection for the medical staff, protection for the people. Corona came in 2019 and it gave us enough time to prepare. By now, we should have employed more nurses. By now, we should have employed more doctors. By now, we should have masks, government providing masks for the people of Zambia. Me, when I went to school, at break, Kaunda used to give me chalk milk. Kaunda used to give me chocolate biscuits for break, which meant those guys, instead of getting money for themselves, they provided for the people of Zambia. This leadership should have provided masks for the people.
But they're doing that.
for the pupils.
That I can confirm with you that they're doing that. I mean,
Where are they doing that? I'll give you an example.
I've accompanied them where they've distributed. Talking of vaccinations, I'm sure you've heard government has been fighting so hard. They've brought in the second dose of vaccines now.
No, that vaccine is coming from COVAX. The first vaccine was a donation. This is coming from COVAX. This is coming from a United Nations sponsored program, which is giving vaccines to the poor African nations. I should hear of the government program where they've bought the vaccines. The government was bragging with money. You know, we've got a system where the government is getting money from the states. I'll give an example of DMU. DMMU has become an auxiliary part of PF campaigns. DMMU through ZRA is impounding Saraula, giving it to DMMA. That's not going to the people of Zambia, it's going to PF. DMMU today is giving minimum to APF, to PF candidates. And I've been Minister of Finance. There's no way in a state you can apply government money, national money, to partisan relief. We've got DMMU today. It has become a campaign manager for PF. Chandakawe should be checked. Chandakawe, the DMM coordinator, should be checked. The money is stealing money from the people of Zambia, taking it for PF campaigns.
Right.
Under the Financial Act, actually, someone can be imprisoned. You, the people of Zambia, are talking about we're talking about the firefighting equipment, and we're saying those firefighting equipment was very expensive. But I'll give you an example. The chairman of finance for PF, Honorable Alexander Chikwanda, was Minister of Finance. Honorable Alexander Chikwanda, he allowed for Ministry of Local Government and Housing to buy unsolicited tenders when Parliament was in recession. He allowed Ministry of Local Government and Housing to give a tender to Bukanisoko when Parliament was in recession, according to the Financial Act. That is not supposed to be done, because all money is expended by the people of Zambia has to be approved by Parliament. But in 2006, there was no tender which was given by local government for them to buy fire tenders.
I'm sure you're hearing now that statements coming through. You are reading tabloids, you are reading news, you're hearing news that government can do that even without going to Parliament.
The president, without Parliament, is given a space where he can provide for use of state through a warrant, where within 4 months it can be given space for him to spend the people's money. But it doesn't give the Minister of Finance authority to spend money which is outside the warrant. It doesn't give authority to the to the Minister of Finance to spend money which is not budgeted for. So if you've got a situation where the Minister of Finance goes to Finance and gets money which was not budgeted for, he gets money which is not on the warrant, because the warrant doesn't give the president to spend on capital expenditure. Capital expenditure can only be approved by Parliament. So when you got a situation where the Minister of Finance gets money and spends on unsolicited bid, he spends on unbudgeted monies from Parliament, it's like stealing from the state. we've got a situation where the Bank of Zambia governor has released money for empowerment, and this money is going to empower PF cadres. That's theft from the state. That's actually theft from the state, because the constitution doesn't allow government monies to go to fund a political party. It allows government money to go and fund public demands.
Right. Let me draw you a little bit from what you're saying. Riding on what you've just explained here, you are accusing DMMU to say it's getting millimil. Salaula, as you had put it, which is probably ZRA, Zambia Revenue Authority, impounds because of this and that, and then it's dishing it to DMMU, and it's giving PF candidates who are standing. Is that what you said?
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
And if DMMU,
Right.
if the director DMMU can disapprove of my facts, let's go to DMMU and check their records.
Okay, I was just trying to ask, I wanted to be very sure that's what you said. Your son, Christopher Shakafuswa, is standing as Mandev Member of Parliament. Is he equally benefiting?
I don't know whether he's equally benefiting, but the information which I know is all PF MPs are actually benefiting from that vote. My son is standing on PF, and I haven't got evidence that he's gotten that, but I'll be very honest with you that if we did the verification, we'll find anomalies in that. You see, according to the Financial Act, no monies should be given to a group of people at the expense of the Zambian people. And the Zambian people, that's why we got the annual budget. All the money which is supposed to be appropriated by Parliament has to go through Parliament. So most of these things like which DMMU is doing hasn't been approved by Parliament. We've got this thing where Bank of Zambia has raised money for empowerment. We need to also check whether that money has been approved by Parliament, because at the end of it all, that money is not supposed to be appropriated at the expenses of demanding needs of the people of Zambia. So if the government is getting money from Bank of Zambia and empowering PF, it means PF as a party is stealing money from the people of Zambia. And if what I'm saying is a lie, let's put a board to actually investigate that and prove me wrong.
Right.
Because if PF is using monies for the people of Zambia to support PF activities, it's theft of money from the treasury, which has to be accounted for, and which has to be actually state agencies have to come in.
Yeah, as I said earlier in my opening, that only 34 days to go before Zambians could start electing new leaders. At this stage in 2016, you are very highly involved campaigning for President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. The man you told us yourself, I remember covering you on some rallies. You told us openly to say, this is a God-fearing man, this is a humble man, this is a man that you urged us to vote for, because he had the heart
for the people of Zambia.
Today,
I misread him. I'll be very honest with you, and I want to apologize to the people of Zambia. I think I misread him, and to me, like at the moment, I think I supported the wrong person. I thought it was a person who could stand for the people of Zambia, emancipate the people of Zambia. But from what I can stand for here, Edgar Lungu is surrounded by people who are greedy, who are selfish, and their self-concerned is making money out of the wealth of the people of Zambia. Talk about the wealth of the people of Zambia. We're endowed with a lot of wealth. Talk about Mukula. Mukula cultivation, exportation is illegal in Zambia. But you find that almost all the mukula is gone. Who's been exporting the mukula? Who's been benefiting from the mukula? Talk about the Minunga gold. We could have allowed the people of Minunga to be very, very rich. We brought in Ugandans. I don't know if they are what to benefit from our wealth. For me, Edgar Lungu is president. The wealth of the people of Zambia doesn't belong to Edgar Lungu. It still belongs to the people of Zambia. The endowment which God has given us belongs to the people of Zambia. So why should today the people of Zambia have no vaccines? Why should today the people of Zambia have no masks? Because you're asking the people of Zambia to go to schools. That mask, you're only supposed to wait for 3 hours. After 3 hours, you're supposed to dispose of it. And if Zambia is endowed with all this wealth, we should have a situation where Zambian people, through their wealth, are supposed to be comfortable, are supposed to be healthy, and they're supposed to be not dying. A situation where today a poor person who have no space in a clinic, a poor patient who have no space in a hospital. Look at the charges which are being charged to take care of a COVID patient. As a wealth nation, Zambia, our copper wealth, Zambia, our mineral endowment, Zambia, our natural resources, is supposed to take care of the people of Zambia. And if Edgar Lungu isn't able to manage the wealth of the people of Zambia on benefit of the people of Zambia, he's a wrong chap. He's a wrong person. I'm not going to go and talk about kudos about him when the poor people are dying. The poor people are dying from poverty, from disease, and today the poor people have no cover. I've got no cover. I've got no protection from COVID today. There are other countries which are poor, but they've come on board and helped the people. And yes, I supported Edgar Lungu because I didn't like Hakainde Hichilema's him. You know what he did? I went to a football match with my grandson, and Edgar wanted to greet me. I went and greeted Edgar, and it came front line on Daily Mail. And in 13:15 news, I was at Parliament Hotel. They announced that we won't adopt Jonas Shakafuswa as a candidate in Katuwa because he greeted Edgar Lungu. And even to me, that was wrong on the part of UPND. We are Zambians, and we can have political affiliations, we can have differences, but we have to have that thing where we should realize we're one Zambia, one nation. Today, Hakainde Hichilema, the people of Zambia want change. It isn't because they think he's a better candidate for the people of Zambia, but they want change. And if he's going to look at the people of Zambia to say they were greeting PF, they were associating with PF, that's lack of leadership. Hakainde Hichilema, the people of Zambia, like at the moment, a lot of people, especially the youths, they want change, they will change government. But Hakainde Hichilema shouldn't come in where he thinks UPND has done the campaigns. It's the PF who've done the campaign on behalf of the people of Zambia, where they reach a situation where they want change. But they don't want change to put a Tonga who is going to have a situation where you look at other tribes as not being Zambians. We've had the situations where UPND, PF has had strongholds, and they think they can promote people from their strongholds, but this is the thing which the people of Zambia are refusing. The people of Zambia, they want Zambia to be a one unitary state.
Right, you're not trying, confusing us. But let me ask categorically from you. Quite, you're saying Zambians want change. Do you want change yourself?
No, I want change. We can't have this situation. We can't have this situation where we've being rude from the streets, where street thugs have become the order of the day. You've got a street thug who's coming from Kanyama. He closes the roads where people who are going for appointments and everything. You've got street thugs who giving government directives. No, we want normalcy. We want a country which comes back to being normal. We want a country which is being...
But how sure are you that even if there's another government...
No, but this is one thing where we have to say it. We need to say it, that even if another government is coming in, we don't want thuggery. We don't want intimidation. We don't want repression of the people of Zambia. We don't want people to be, the police to be there governing our freedoms of associations. We don't want a situation where the police should tell us how to associate, how to proceed. We want a Zambia where Zambians are free, like an eagle. We want a situation where we're not ruled by tribe. We're not ruled by region. We're not ruled by tribal sentiments.
You seem caught up. You don't know really who to support. From what I hear from you, you don't like. I don't know whether.
Well, and we've reached a situation where Zambians want change, but we need to manage that change. We don't need to have a change where we repress the previous regime. We need a change which can transcend, where we move on and don't demonize the people who've been in leadership. But we need also a change where if those people in leadership have made mistakes and which are against the constitution, against the laws of the people of Zambia, they should be held accountable. But they shouldn't be held accountable because of their tribe, because of the tribal alliance, because of the party affiliations. They should be held accountable because the constitution allows for those who've wronged the people of Zambia. That's why we've got rules and regulations which account where if you wrong the people of Zambia, it's the people of Zambia against you. So if these people have wronged the people of Zambia, the constitution allows a situation where the people of Zambia comes to you, comes to me, Jonas Shakafuswa, against the people of Zambia.
All right, who's Jonas Shakafuswa advising Zambians to support? You are saying Zambians need change, especially Makamaka, Misepela, the young ones. But
what has happened? What has happened? What has happened?
No,
wait a minute.
No, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. We are hearing opinion polls that 15% of those people are undecided, but they are registered. They are undecided.
Yeah, because we're not talking to them. That's why we need talk shows like ourselves.
Who should be talking to them?
At the moment, I'll be honest with you, people of Zambia are going to change. And it isn't because of UPND. That's why even UPND has to come and start talking to the people of Zambia. People of Zambia want change. They want change where they can feel free to belong to a Zambia without tribe. They want change where they can belong to a Zambia without partisan affiliation.
Right.
They want to belong to a Zambia which has got no thugs, which has got no cadres who rule. Today we've got a Zambia where even the police are not capable of doing the police work, because we've opened the police a professional outfit. We've opened up to party manipulation. We've had a police force where Kampiongo was able to get his cadres from his provinces, put in the police. We've got a police force which is working for a party and not working for the state. The people have reached a point where they want a Zambia where professional institutions work for the benefit of the people of Zambia. They want a Zambia which can go back to the rule of law.
Yeah, but still you're not answering the question. You've categorically said Zambians want change. You're still elaborating on this matter. But you, as Jonas Shakafuswa, an eloquent politician, whom are you advising Zambians to vote for? Are you advising them? Of course, in this game, I can already tell that...
Me as Jonas Shakafuswa, I would urge Zambians to vote for Hakainde Hichilema. I would vote Zambians to vote for Hakainde Hichilema, not as a Tonga. Hakainde Hichilema is one Zambian I've known from the university days, hardworking Zambian. Hakainde Hichilema is one Zambian who's come on the scene. People say he's very wealthy, but that's one person who's created his wealth. Hakainde Hichilema, I remember my cousin, I used to pick up the niece from Hakainde Hichilema's cousin's house. And I was in second year. I was in first year. Hakainde Hichilema was at university. I think he was in his third or fourth year. Hakainde Hichilema was one guy who was very, very hardworking. After I left university, I worked for Deloitte Haskins and Sales. Hakainde Hichilema was running, he joined Coopers and Lybrand, and he rose through the ranks to be managing partner, which later on formed Grant Thornton. I've heard Edith Nawakwi talking about Hakainde Hichilema. The days when Edith Nawakwi was going in tropicals advocating for change and didn't have money, Hakainde Hichilema already had money. Hakainde Hichilema, today people can talk about him. They can talk about the Tonga in him, but he's a very hardworking guy. They're talking about Hakainde Hichilema and talking about his disposal of raw antelope. But Hakainde Hichilema was not in government. Hakainde Hichilema, like us at Deloitte, George Sokota and Venesombe, they were all given contracts by privatizing Zambia Privatization Agency to do works for the people of Zambia. And they did them, and they never, if we were to look at where they went wrong, we could go back to their works and see if government found any fault in them. When I was at Ministry of Finance, there was a study where they wanted to find out whether Hakainde Hichilema did anything wrong. We didn't find anything wrong with them. Today, there are a lot of guys who are trying to get political capital of the wrongs of which Hakainde Hichilema. Hakainde Hichilema is one guy who's risen from rags to riches. And I heard someone who was saying, first, before he become the president of the people of Zambia, he should even reduce the price of beef for his farms. The price of beef for Hakainde's farm is detected by the demand and supply of beef in the country. If the Zambian government hasn't given an enabling environment like in Botswana, where today beef should sell very cheaply,
right,
you can't go to Hakainde Hichilema. So to me, I'll go. Hakainde Hichilema has been an economic manager all his life. He hasn't run a country. And today I will openly say I'm supporting Hakainde Hichilema to be president of this country, because we need managers to run the economy, affairs of the people of Zambia.
Right.
And now, let me qualify it. I'm not, people say I'm saying Hakainde Hichilema because the Rangers today have been qualified as Bantu Wotatwe. As Rangers, we're not Bantu Wotatwes. Bantu Wotatwes, this was coined by historians who wanted to associate the Ilas, the Rangers, the Kaunde Ilas, and say we spoke a similar language. We haven't got similar historical backgrounds with the Tongas. The Tongas come from a historical background of the Chewas and the Ngonis. The Chewas, the Ngonis, and the Tongas, they came through as we're coming from Kola.
I know you're trying to say to wash away the tribe.
For us as Rangers, through this regime, we've suffered because we've been branded as Bantu Wotatwes. There are a lot of prominent Rangers who've been fired from government because they've labeled them as Bantu Wotatwes. We're talking of people who are working at finance. I've got people like Felix Nkulukusa, who was fired. He's never been political. we've got the Mulimbika, we've got the guy, my cousin Chipepo, who was second in command at paramilitary. They've been fired because of being rangers. They're saying we are Bantu Tatwes, but these people have been apolitical. And for us to be chosen as Bantu Tatwe and been told not to enjoy the fruits of our independence of Dr. Kaunda, the fruits of our emancipations as rangers, I think it is wrong.
Right. You heard my phone playing this same interview. There's a message which has come through, but if I open my phone, I don't know. Later on, we should be reading these messages on TV. If my colleagues, I don't know if my colleagues are able to give me a signal. Are we able to read those messages? Are we able to? Okay, we are unable to read them. But I was trying to read some messages from my phone. But when I open it, it's still taking me to the interview I'm having, so it's making some noise. But there's a message which has come to say you're interviewing a non-tribalist in you. But why is this person saying a non-tribalist? It's because during the adoption process of candidates in the PF, I don't know where people misquoted you, or that's what you said, that you are supporting your son Christopher based on tribal lines. That is people, the PF are sidelining because of his tribe, because of his background.
It's very good. As when we talk about my son is a very capable person. My son has supported PF even when I didn't like PF. My son, because of his tribe, has been sidelined. And when I talk about my son, Lusaka, we are a nation, we are a region of solis and ranges. Lusaka, when the capital was brought into Lusaka, when the capital was brought into Lusaka, we accepted people from all walks of life. We accepted people from all walks of life as ranges, because solis and ranges, we are the same. So when we talk that even in Lusaka, we should have a mayor who is a soli or range. In Lusaka, we should have MPs who are soli of ranges. We're not being tribalists. We are being realistic. We are being realistic. Because you people, you came from your land, you settled in our land. And when we talk about our tribe not being annihilated, I think we're not being tribalist. We are just being realistic. So when we talk, them, look at Shibakambwidi. Shibakambwidi is talking about their tribes. Us, when we talk about our tribes, we're called tribalists. Who's being a tribalist? For me, and it's real, Christopher Shakafuswa stood to be mayor of Lusaka. They raised the stakes to say only someone who is a degree holder should be mayor of Lusaka. And that eliminated everyone and left Christopher Shakafuswa there. And they says, no, we can't have Christopher Shakafuswa. Let's put it to a master's level. And that's how Kalumba came in, and Christopher Shakafuswa was eliminated. Christopher, when he wanted to stand as the deputy mayor, he was fought left, right, and center. But the councillors of Lusaka told him, you go and stand as mayor, will support you. This was not supported by the party. It was supported by the candidates who saw the qualities in my son. And my son has good qualities, range qualities, to stand as candidate for Mandevu. And if people think for me to allocate for someone who qualifies to stand as candidate, I'm being a tribalist, let them go to hell. And let me tell them, here where they've settled, they found us accommodating. They found the peace in our lands. But let them not change our lands to be their tribal lands, regional lands. That's what we're refusing. These lands belong to us, let them give us respect. This land belongs to the solis, belongs to the ranges. You go to Kasama, you go to Eastern Province, they'll never allow a ranger to stand there. But we've allowed them here. and look at Singwa.
So what you're saying is...
No, I'm not a tribalist. Look at Singwa, he's standing in Kapiriposhi. It doesn't come from Kapiriposhi. And they're imposing a candidate from Kapiriposhi. Who do they think we are? They think us should only be accommodating. No, they should also listen to us. Let them also look at our person, because look at the candidates. To me, even look at the candidates who UPND has put into Mandevu. He hasn't got the caliber and competence of my son. So I will even say UPND this election, let them just allow you Chris Shakafuswa to win, and then since he will be opposition MP, I'll talk to Hakainde to make him a minister.
Just joining us, you're watching live broadcast of the governance programs, of course, right here on Munati Television. Let's break off for a short break. This is a sponsored partnership, so let's just break off for that break, and then we'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Mulambo Haimbe, and I'm standing as Member of Parliament for Lusaka Central constituency. Lusaka Central is at my heart, and I know what people need. In Bowling, for example, we need water, and I've got solid plans for that. We need schools in Bowling. We need hospitals in Silvizia Ward. In Independence Ward, where the central business district is, we need to bring back sanity, remove all the garbage. And finally, in Luba Ward, we need roads. And most importantly, the University Teaching Hospital, which sits in Luba Ward, needs to be improved so that the people can be served better. The people of Lusaka Central need solid choices, solid plans. And this is what we bring. Mulambo Haimbe and the UPND. Come August 2021, make the right choice. Vote Mulambo Haimbe as Member of Parliament for Lusaka Central constituency. And vote Hakainde Hichilema for President.
A solid choice for a fresh start.
Hello, my name is Mulambo Haimbe, and I'm standing as Member of Parliament for Lusaka Central constituency. Lusaka Central is at my heart, and I know what people need. In Bowling, for example, we need water, and I've got solid plans for that. We need schools in Bowling. We need hospitals in Silvizia Ward. In Independence Ward, where the central business district is, we need to bring back sanity, remove all the garbage. And finally, in Luba Ward, we need roads. And most importantly, the University Teaching Hospital, which sits in Luba Ward, needs to be improved so that the people can be served better. The people of Lusaka Central need solid choices, solid plans. And this is what we bring. Mulambo Haimbe and the UPND. Come August 2021, make the right choice. Vote Mulambo Haimbe as Member of Parliament for Lusaka Central constituency. And vote Hakainde Hichilema for President.
A solid choice for a fresh start.
All right, welcome back. This is your voice on Munati Television. Thank you so much for still staying with us. We continue with the program. Now we go into a little bit of some economics. The running mate for President Edgar Chagwa, that's Professor Kanglo, says the best people to be voted for back into government should be the PF, because they know what they've messed up themselves and they're the only ones who can control the mess. Any other person, any other government coming in will not know where to start and where to end.
Zambia has got a history from independence where we are. What we are today is a culmination of the governments we've had so far. And where we are today is because of the 10 years of PF. We had a situation, I became Deputy Minister of Finance. We had a President, Mwanawasa, who sat down. And what I loved about Mwanawasa was a situation where he didn't take credit to say he was the president and he was making decisions. He was a president who had a cadre of technocrats. At Minister of Finance, when I was appointed Deputy Minister of Finance, when I went there, Honorable Magandi told me, you run administration of, you help me with the administration of this, you do this. And I told him, having got the experience, he said, you don't need the experience. Government has a cadre of technocrats who've been trained at the expense of government to bring in the best of the people of Zambia. So all we needed was a situation where you give the cadres of technocrats your policies and then they'll give you the way. Today, the problem which we've had is a situation where the technocrats are in the background. The cadres are the ones who are running the systems. Talk about Mukula trade. Talk about the export of maize. Talk about the export of soybeans today. Tanzania got a contract from China because of the trade wrangles China is having with USA. USA used to be the biggest supplier of soybeans to China. Today, we've got a situation where Tanzania has been given big tenders to supply, and Kenya to supply soybeans to China. The soybeans which have been grown here is going to Tanzania and Kenya. And then talk about the maize, which they what? Because the cadres are the ones which are supplying soya. The cadres are the ones which are supplying maize to DRC, leaving a deficit in the country where cooking oils become very expensive. So they know the maize. How are they going to rectify it? Because economic rules of demand and supply, we have no soya. And then we have no soya cake. Which means even Nawaki, when she says Hakainde's beef should become cheap, it won't become cheap because Hakainde depends on the soya cake from the millers of soya mills to give his animals.
Yeah.
So, which means the economics is all wrapped up. We've got a situation where maize is being exported by cadres and ministers, former ministers, to DRC. We've got a situation where we've got Mukula is being exported by ministers. Okay, let me remove the ministers. How is Mukula moving into all these roadblocks when it's an illegal commodity? And it's moving. So it's just a situation where the Zambian people should realize these people haven't run the economy for the benefit of the Zambians, and they just have to be removed.
But this is why I keep telling you that, but those in government, I'm sure you hear, they will tell you, Ichalovali wamekuwa lishafika become towers.
Zambians can't go for stupidity. We're not stupid people as Zambian people. And if these guys, they want us to look at ourselves as stupid people, tell those guys they're the ones who are stupid. You can tell them they're the ones who are stupid. Zambian people have to be respected. That's why for the Zambian people, my message is today, there is no ruling party, there is no opposition party. The ruling and opposition party will be determined on the 12th of August. As today, Parliament dissolved. After the Parliament dissolved, there's no ruling party. There's no opposition. So the people of Zambia have got in their hands the decision to actually decide who the next government should be. And let them not be discouraged. We were at the situation where cadres, these drunk addicts, drunk thugs, were trying to determine the people. No, like for me, I worked hard. I've taken my children to school. Let's not be determined from the streets and the streets cadres. Let's take back our country to a situation where reason becomes the order of the day. What PF has brought us is a situation where we've gone to the streets, and we don't need the streets. We need to go back to where we're telling the people of Zambia, our children, you work hard, you do this, and you become better off. And we need Zambia to go back, not from the streets. We need Zambia to go back where the people of Zambia are able to determine their destinations.
Right. This one, Marcus Shafan from Shafan Kabwe says, Jonas Shakafuswa, these are wise words. Zambia is slowly going to a one-party state. Anyone, it's a long one. Anyone that does not support a particular party is deemed as an enemy. It's very worrying, and this is not what KK fought for. He stood for unity of purpose and wanted Zambia to develop as a unity or whole. Our system and policies have deteriorated to undesirable levels. Cadres are given gratitude and given lots of money. Professionals have been sidelined. Cadres holding sensitive positions that require critical thinking. Hence, the resultant of this is pathetic services which Zambians are subjected to. Rest in peace, KK. Of course, Obista Mbanda from says, I'm watching from Chifunabuli district in Wapra province. Collins Kindness Muluisha says, watching you from Lumwana Mine township, that is in Kalumbila district. James Nyemba says, watching you, my brother. I don't know which one, either you or me, I don't know, but thank you so much. And Kipamba Mwali says, nice to see you, Kala. Thank you so much. Watching from Lusaka City. Sims Panji says, articulating issues simple and straightforward. Very calm man. That is for you. And of course, Patrick Mubiana is watching us from Mumbwa. And of course, Makina is watching us from Solwezi. Obedience Chiangi, network did bad. Otherwise, I have started following you from Kasempa. Thank you so much. Bubala Ngandu says, listening and learning something within Lusaka. Thank you so much. Paul Chibubu, whatever the case, I just support Chris because he's one guy I once worked with, and he is very capable. All right, I think that's for Christopher Shakafuswa. Somebody is campaigning for you there. Of course, Chrysson Muziamba says, we are watching you. Nice program. Thank you so much. KB Salisimu, he laughs and says, this man, I'm sure, I'm closely reading between the lines of what he is saying. You should have also told us what he's saying, because if you leave it hanging, we will not know what he's trying to say. Let's learn from you. But you can still post, and we'll be able to read it later on. I like the opinions of Mr. Jonas Shakafuswa, calling a spade, not a big spoon. Following closely, Dixon, the truth about Lusaka here. Daisy Banda, okay, somebody's just calling their friends. Why can't this channel be included on GSTV? So many messages coming through, but we are unable to read all of them. Right, what were you saying before I cut you short? Do you want me to ask you a question?
I can't remember.
You want me to ask you a question? Because I've got a lot. Right. Let's go back to the Electoral Commission of Zambia. During your time, and that was even in 2016 also, where was the Electoral Commission of Zambia finding the money to send representatives to Dubai to go and monitor the printing of ballot papers? But now we are...
The Electoral Commission of Zambia... The Electoral Commission of Zambia is a sham for the people of Zambia. And Judge Esau Zulu, Emelis Chulu, a sham for the people of Zambia. And if Judge Chulu, you think your will be done for the people of Zambia, Jacob Zuma today is going to prison. And Judge Chulu, you also watch your steps, because the people's will overrides. Judge Chulu wants to come and tell the people of Zambia that he's the champion of the people of Zambia over elections. We've had elections, we've had credible chairpersons of electoral commissions. And Judge Chulu, if he thinks he's the champion of the elections and he can do whatever he wants to do, no. The Electoral Commission of Zambia is governed by constitution, which gives commissions how they're going to relate. Judge Chulu should know that the Electoral Commission is not his baby, is not his court. And if Judge Chulu wants to make money, let him go make money from other businesses, not from the people of Zambia. Judge Chulu should realize that his commission is a sham for the people of Zambia, and what we want is a credible electoral commission of Zambia. Judge Chulu doesn't want to hear from stakeholders. Who does he think he is? Because stakeholders are the ones who make what elections should be. Judge Chulu, last time they had stakeholders conference, he was giving them 5 minutes. Stupid. How do you give 5 minutes for people to tell you the response from the people of Zambia? And Judge Chulu, if he thinks he's holding a court, a high court as the Electoral Commission of Zambia, us as the people of Zambia, we think is the worst chairman of the Electoral Commission Zambia has ever had. And Judge Chulu and his commission should realize, I'm going to say the words I wanted for them, but Judge Chulu should realize.
You want me to give you a glass of water?
Nyoko.
You can have your water and then calm down. This is a live broadcast.
I say this, you should realize Judge Chulu, after election, is the one who can realize where this country, there's a lot of tension. We don't want a situation where this country goes to war, this country divides, and we're not going to put inadequate people like Judge Chulu determining the future of our country in his hands. If he's eating, let him eat. But the bottom line,
but why so hard on the ECZ? What have they done?
No. ECZ hasn't conducted themselves as an open body. ECZ, what we've had previously, we've had electoral commissions which have worked, where as you go into an election, people have got confidence in you as conducting electoral matters. But this commission we've had, you know, I used to be in Manwasa's government. We've got people like Emily Skazwe, who at the time, when she was opposing Manwasa, she still had Malawian citizenship. Had not denounced as a Malawian citizenship for Zambian citizenship. And I want to see when she denounced that. Because Emily Skazwe is Emily Chisiza. I used to play football with a young brother, a Malawian citizen. Skazwe, she married Skazwe, but she didn't apply for Zambian citizenship. So are we saying the Chulu Commission is composed of Malawian citizenship? No, I can't say that. But let them show us that they're Zambian citizens. But what we want is a situation where they work on behalf of the people of Zambia. I won't be scared of them. The bottom line, like for me, Judge Chulu, I had a lot of respect for him, but he's become a puppet of PF. Let him show that he's not a puppet of PF, because we want credible elections where he can stand and people, when he announces the results, they can say these are credible results. So we won't have a Judge Chulu holding the people of Zambia to ransom. So let Judge Chulu come up and tell us the elections are going to be credible. What has happened now? Unprecedented. And if he is getting money from the government, no. According to our constitution and the principles of the constitution, all commissions have to work in the interest of the people of Zambia. And the commission is heading is a constitutional commission. It's not a PF constitution, a PF commission.
Yeah, but the commission has on several occasions told the Zambian people that we are managing, this is the most transparent.
Rubbish. What about those people in Petauke who court of voters cards? What have the constitution, the electoral commission said? They were supposed to sanction those. There are a lot of electoral malpractices which has come on board. What have they talked about? Is silent. A high court judge.
They sanctioned Mr. Kambwili.
After UPND went to complain. They should have done that before UPND complained.
Was it not okay that the UPND raised the matter and they moved in?
No, according to the mandate of ECZ, they're supposed to have those things where they know that this is wrong. They're monitoring the campaigns. They're monitoring everything. But they're not. They become a subsidiary of PF. And that, as you go into elections, it makes the elections to be not credible. Let them challenge me. Let them challenge me. Rubbish commission. Very rubbish commission.
You are asking Zambians to vote for the UPND. You want the UPND to win, from what you're saying and from what you've just confirmed to us. But now you are scaring the very commission which announces who wins and who does not win.
The commission who have nothing to do with the overall results. Is the people of Zambia always going to determine the results?
Because they'll be scared to say.
How do they be scared with the results and the decision of the people of Zambia?
Right. Where was the money coming from to send electoral observers, stakeholders to Dubai during the MMD government? But now we are told they were just doing it. There's no provision in the constitution.
No, but this is where you got an incredible election commission, because all this time to have a credible and transparent elections, they put that in their budget, because that was done to have a credible and it was done so that you have a credible and fair election. And what the electoral commission is doing now is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Because they were supposed within their program of works to put that budget, and a ticket to Dubai and accommodation is how much as a portion of the budget of the electoral commission. It's very, very minimal. But they choose to, rubbish. Let's talk about rubbish here.
That's not rubbish. This is very important. That is a very critical institution.
That
it is a very critical
institution. An election is a constitutional matter. And the constitutional matter derives its finances from the people of Zambia, where it derives its finances from the constitution through the budget.
Some of it comes from donors.
Oh, yes, but donors don't put monies. Monies from donors have to be actually channeled through the budget. So when donors are putting money for an elections, they can't put it outside the budget. It has to be budgeted through. Even donors, when they are giving monies to development programs, it's put in the budget so that it's funded and executions from the budget. So donors are putting money. That money is appropriated through the budget. So that money which came from donors, came from the state, and came from everyone, has gone through the state. So that money should have provided, and to actually have a situation where you've got credible elections, ECZ should have ensured that all those parties which are participating in the elections actually go there to observe. And that fraction of the elections of budget is a very small budget. They should have done that.
Currently, I have to inform the nation that so far only 2 political parties have sent representatives in Dubai. The first one to arrive in Dubai, even before the printing of ballot papers started, was the PF, who are being represented by Mr. Davis Chama, who is the party's deputy national chairperson, who left for Dubai even before the printing started. Now, the UPND observer has also arrived in Dubai, but according to them, they delayed because the person they had they had selected to go and represent them needed a special visa, but the Electoral Commission of Zambia had issues with giving that particular individual that special visa in view of the COVID restrictions.
But look at...
I'm just trying to alert the people of what's
the bottom line, these are issues which have been cleared by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and they didn't put thought on that. This is a very incredible institution of Zambia which is held election, and I think the most no, these guys, they don't need to get money from the charge of the people of Zambia.
You are saying the PF should be voted out of power, but what is happening on the ground is that already we have started seeing opinion polls, and an opinion poll is pointing in the direction of the PF that they are winning with some good margins.
No, but those are PF-sponsored opinion polls. Those are PF-sponsored opinion.
You know that they're PF?
But in MMD, we had MMD Rupiah Banda, we had MMD-sponsored opinion polls, which show that Rupiah Banda was winning. Right. But where is Rupiah Banda
now,
today?
Because you are in government, let me ask this. So, when you are in government, was there a time when you would sit down, the machinery, state machinery is put into, not really state machinery, party machinery is put into action, where you sit and say, guys, let's come up with this to show this kind of perception to the public? Does that happen?
We've got the intelligence network. You can have a corrupt intelligence network which can corrupt. Corruption isn't a bribe. Corruption is a situation where you change what is supposed to be there. So you can have an intelligence network which corrupts the morals of the people of Zambia to think in a different direction. Yes, we had a situation in Mwanawasa's government. I'll say we had a very solid intelligence network under Regis Piri. Regis Piri, when we went to him and say we wanted to actually compromise the intelligence for the MMD, him and his group would refuse. But now we've got an intelligence network which can even go where they didn't want Hakainde to be on the ballot paper. That was something which came from intelligence. And you can have a corrupt intelligence system. But in our days, when you talk about me, we worked with an intelligence under Regis Piri, which was a very solid intelligence, which left the politics to the politician and advised government on what was coming from the people. Now you can have a rotten intelligence system, which will actually advise government on how to do corrupt, rotten things. So like now, for me, the intelligence system has to work for the people of Zambia, not trying to deter the wills of the people of Zambia.
Right. Honorable, we are now in the dying minutes of the program, but I'll read a few messages, but before I read these messages, let me just pose this last question, which is, we are in a period where all nations are on their knees with regards to the COVID-19. Now, given the circumstances that we are in, and Zambia will be going to the polls, so many people are dying. Is there a provision which can say, I think, let's hold on with the elections to safeguard the lives of people? Is that possible?
people are in a hurry. The American system had a similar question, where they held the elections under a serious epidemic, and they elected a president which removed Donald Trump and brought in Joe Biden. I think the protocols which the Minister of Health has given us are enough. They should give us guidelines as we go to the polls, and now we are going to do. We should make sure that everyone has a mask as they go to vote, because we're in a hurry to change government.
Right. Let me go through some few messages, and messages keep coming in fast and furious. I don't even know where I had ended. Patrick, okay, I'm trying to see which one. There are too many. Now we've got they've reached 103 messages now that we do have. Let me start from Brian Chakabanda says, following you, Uncle Jabs. You Uncle Jabs?
It's Jonas Arrows Brightwell Shakafuswa. That's Jonas Jabs.
Somebody knows you. All right. Musialela Matakala says this is a sham for a fact. KB Mwindo, why can't this channel be included on DSTV? Rubbish Commission Truth hates. Hassan Muntanga says, I'm following within Lusaka Chawama constituency. Shaka, my former MP, that is Hamaundu. Mwana, listening and watching Zambia is lost. That's Shaka's I know. That is Matakala once again. Ivans Mapasule says, inviting colleagues, come here and hear the lion is speaking. Mumba Munati, you should go on Top Star. And of course, Raymond Mblizi says this country has seen the rise of molarity, because of fools have multiplied in almost all areas of trade centers. I like the opinions of Jonas. He is a real man from Maine. And of course, direct to the point. I'm not just reading messages because there are just too many. Watching from Livingston, Lusaka is glued. And of course, the truth about Lusaka here, okay, so many words like these should have come from HH. When is this channel going? All right. Honorable, your concluding remarks.
Zambia, we know where we've come from. Zambia, as we mourn our founding father KK brought a lot of morality. He brought the leadership code, which was misconstrued by a lot of people. But in action, we were able to see it. A lot of people who worked with Kaunda left the government as paupers because government refused to pay them benefits. We got children of freedom fighters who fought for this country who are struggling today. What I'm going to urge the incoming government is for those families of freedom fighters who work for these families, for our country, whose benefits were cut, let's find a way of accommodating them so that as a country we are able to appreciate the works which their fathers and forefathers put in our country. So we've got a situation where people have become overnight millionaires, and we find a situation where as we go on, we'll find how they've made money, where Kaunda in 27 years and these people didn't make money, and they've been able to make money in 5 years. We'll know this money is stolen, and we're going to get that money out of their pockets, put it in the people of Zambia, and from that change we'll be able to fund the freedom fighters and their families so that they live comfortably and they appreciate as a Zambian to say we are able to look after freedom fighters. And for the people of Zambia, let's not be scared. Parliament has been dissolved and there's no ruling party. There's no opposition at the moment. The ruling party and opposition will come after the elections on the 12th of August. And for the people of Zambia, you go to the polls, look at your lives, ask yourselves, are you well off? Because today what's happening, they bring immediate meal to your homes, showing signs that poverty has come into your homes, because without poverty you're not going to look for handouts from any other people. Because these guys now have shown you that they've messed up the economy, and the only way they can do it is bring handouts to your home. We don't need handouts. We need emancipation where we are able to provide for our homes and provide for our kids. So for the people of Zambia, as we go to these elections, what you do, you look at your welfare.
Honorable, I want to thank you very much for finding time to appear on our program. Can I give you some? Yeah, that's enough. That's enough for me. We need to go.
Thank you very much.
We need to go and rest.
Thank you.
We've come to the end of tonight's edition of Your Voice on Munati Television. Thank you so much for your company. Keep supporting us, and of course, as we grow. May God bless you, and good night.